Okay, good morning. Thank God it's Friday. Welcome. So excited. Okay, it's good to be here again. How are you? Hope you had a good week because we are running off today. Okay, thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Sijama Uche, and we'll take a short break, and when we'll come back, we'll bring a press review. Okay, good to have you back at Express Review Time. And joining me this morning, two gentlemen of the press, Osta Eze, a public affairs analyst. Osta, you're welcome.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Okay, and then Ejike Abata, he's also a public affairs analyst, but he's a veteran journalist, I tell you.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Welcome. Good to have you. I hope I'm safe this morning in your midst.
Yeah, quite safe.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's begin from the beginning as usual, as we bring you the news coming from our website this morning. The first one says, Anambra State government suspends tricycle shuttle bus unions. Communities in Anambra West Council area submerged by flood. Soludo performs groundbreaking for 132 kV power station at Umuekete Ibezunu Aguleri, Anambra East Council area. And finally from here, Mrs. Soludo urges residents of Anambra riverine communities to relocate to higher grounds as water level rises. These are the stories we have coming from our website this morning. Not just this, you can still get there and read up other stories. But for now, we started having issues. Osta, let me start with you. Started having issues with the keke riders and bus drivers. Okay, shuttle bus drivers recently. And then some of them, I think, are still on strike and all the rest of things. But now, I think what the government is saying is that we're trying to save you from the touts so that you pay just to the government. Okay? But what's their problem?
Well, I understand their problem is has to do with multiple, would I call it taxation, that they experience. That's the feedback we're getting from some of their members. But we also understand that there might be a need for this government intervention that is ongoing right now to sanitize the way their leadership go about their operation and ensure that the keke napep operators and shuttle drivers that they feel justice is done with the way they pay their taxes, the dues they are meant to pay to the government. So I believe the government intervention presently is quite timely, and I hope that they're able to come to an understanding soon so that the common man would not have problem moving from one place to the other within the capital city.
All right, thank you very much. Ejike, do you have anything to add before we move on?
It's a good one that the unions have been disbanded or suspended, as it were, and because there needs to be a change as to those who run or see to the affairs of both unions. And if you observe closely, you also realize that the number of killings in the capital city has reduced for some time. It's as a result of the intervention of the present government, knowing well that some of these persons are tout and courtists So the intervention of the state government is bringing about a change in the affairs of both unions. And I hope at the end of the day, I understand the worries of both unions, being asked to pay monthly, whereas some of them don't even go to work as a result of their vehicles being faulty, maybe for 4 or 5 days, and then you still have to pay for those days. So, but the intervention by the state government asking them to pay weekly, it's a good step in the right direction. So it's a win-win for both parties.
Okay. Okay, I understand the plight now. You didn't get to work and you still pay, just like what we're experiencing in some of the tariffs, electricity tariff and whatever, whether you have light or you don't have it,
you just have to pay for it.
And all the rest of it. Okay, that's still room for dialogue. Important is that we'll have peace in the state. Okay, let's look at the stories. Communities in Anambra West Castle area submerged by flood. We're going to join it with the last story that says Mrs. Soludo urges residents of Anambra riverine communities to relocate to higher grounds as water level rises. Yeah, Oster, this is an annual occurrence, and I know, of course, that the government has put everything in place to ensure that we don't lose lives. Okay, and there's this intervention about their, what do you call it, camp or whatever. You know about it.
Yeah, the displaced persons camp. Well, the thing is, way before now, I know there had been warnings and counter warnings to persons living close to or living within the riverine communities to move up to the highlands. And I know there was a time when the dams were opened, people were warned to move away from their homestead and move to higher grounds if they feel threatened. So I don't really think that the warning to move up to higher grounds, it's actually coming at the right time right now. I know there's been warnings and counter warnings way before now. My heart goes out to those who have lost their property, because I know how difficult it is for one to put a homestead together, and then the next day you're told that everything has been washed away by the flood. And I also like to add that one of the ways we can forestall much damage of these floods when they occur is to ensure that we do not contribute negatively to the way these floods, these water bodies go about their activities, because we have natural channels that had been provided for them, and sometimes we humans will go about constructing edifices, certain infrastructure, blocking their ways. And when times like this come, you find out that these waters, they will definitely make a way for themselves, thereby destroying things we've put together with our hard-earned money. So my call goes out to people who are living close to some of these waterways to ensure that they do not interfere with the activities of these waterways. I see people constructing their houses, or in the course of making roads, they block certain places where you have brooks, where you have rivers, where you have streams, and you feel you've settled with it. A time will come when immediately the water levels go up, these waters will want to pass through that place, and they don't care what's there. They will definitely break through. That's one thing about the power of water. So we need to start understanding this, and we need to start being more conscious of the way we go about our activities as humans, so that we don't interfere with the activities of these natural bodies. Thank you.
Very important. But I think the government has kind of brought a lot of interventions to them. Like I hosted the Commissioner for Education, was this sometime last month, and she told me that the children in the river areas are on, their schools are on, while others are on holidays. That these are some of the interventions that government has put in place, knowing fully whether the floods are coming. But what is wrong with our people? Why will you allow this to catch up with you when you know that this is a yearly occurrence and places have been provided for you to move on time?
That's where I want to make my submission. Those who live within riverine communities knows that these things happen annually. So it shouldn't come as a surprise or as a shock to them. Of course, it's always difficult emotionally for you to abandon your home and then move to another location temporarily, as it were. But then it's safer for you to save your life at that point in time. move to higher land, then when the rain subside, you can then move back to your house or your abode. But we are usually reluctant to do it, even when government has provided shelters. Of course, you don't expect whatever government provides to be as comfortable as what you have in your own house. No, it can't be like that. But government has shown a concern by providing shelters, providing sleeping materials, even medications. So we should have this at the back of our mind for those who live in those areas. Every year these things must happen. The rains must fall, except when the rain doesn't come, but the rain must fall. So provided the rain falls, you should also have it at the back of your mind that there comes a time when you have to move. So you won't create problem for yourself and lose much properties as it were.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's now get to the papers and find out what is trending now. We are starting with the Daily Sun newspaper this morning. Beside the name templates of the Daily Sun, I have 2023, I will remove structures retarding Nigeria's progress. This one is coming from Obi. And then the banner headline there said, amid Buhari's caution, presidential candidates sign peace accord with some riders there. Shetima stands in for Tinubu, placed Nigeria above regional sectional interest. This one is coming from the president. And down here I have this other story. APC, withdrawal of letter to Tinubu tears NWC apart. APC, withdrawal of letter to Tinubu tears NWC apart with a rider there. Members want Buhari presidential candidate served. Members want Buhari and then the presidential candidate served with a withdrawal letter. Okay. Then the next paper this morning is the New National Star. On the front page of the New National Star, the stories there says, New National Star to honor Ugwanye, Umahi, Soludo, Arthur Eze, Ifekodo, others in Enugu. Why the banner headline there is 122.4 million naira bribery scandal, Rocks Pdp. With a rider there, 4 NWC members return alleged loot. And then another rider there said, Ayu keeps mum. And then, okay, just rightly below the name template, I have Yobe North. I accept court judgment, says Lawan. Lawan is the Senate president that just lost bid to some other person to return to the National Assembly. Okay, Supreme Court upholds Adeleke as Osun PDP governor candidate. And then Tinubu missing at Atiku as Atiku will be order signed peace pact. Okay, let's get another paper too before we start talking. The Punch newspaper. APC presidential campaign, Tinubu to pacify Adamu governors with 2,000 appointments. Oh my God. APC presidential campaign, Tinubu to pacify Adamu governors with 2,000 appointments. Okay, let's see the rider. Party disowns leaked letter, denies one-man show allegation against candidate. And then aggrieved NWC members nominee added to campaign list. Onanuga explains exclusion. Okay, other stories. Federal government makes fresh offer. ASU insists on UTAS. Let's start talking now, gentlemen. From the first paper, the Daily Sun. The first story I read there said 2023, I will remove structures retarding Nigeria's progress. That's coming from a bit. But before then, let's look at the banner headline there. Amid Buhari's caution, presidential candidates sign peace accord. This peace accord comes every election. And do you see them upholding it? Because very soon now they'll start throwing tantrums.
That's very true. And you cannot overemphasize the need for peace, especially at this critical moment in the existence of Nigeria as a country. Which also calls to mind the need for those of us who are opinion shapers on social media to be very careful with the kind of language we use in order not to incite people to violence. And this is a tendency that you see growing over time, as people are becoming more emotional, more sensational with their campaigns for their various candidates, we should remember that these candidates do not have any love lost amongst them. They still attend one another's parties and get-togethers. They are still very good friends. They are still making efforts to maintain good social relationship with their opponents, even though they are opponents in politics. You understand that politics is a game and not something for one to be so personal or so emotional about. Everybody is interested in seeing a better Nigeria. We're only seeing this, the way this better Nigeria can be achieved from different perspectives. So the need for peace cannot be overemphasized. There's a need for us to continue to gun for peace. And I encourage these candidates to call their members, their fans and their followers to order. Because I see what's going on in social media, and I'm really concerned as to how this can take us, how badly this can actually make things go if we continue this way. The way they keep mocking people, they keep coming up with a lot of propaganda to denigrate the image of certain candidates. That's not the way to go about campaigning for your candidate. Let this campaign period be strictly issue-based. And let's stop all the name callings and all whatnot that could incite people to violence, because violence pays nobody any good. That's just the fact.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Ejike, what's going on in APC? APC withdrawal of later to Tinubu tears NWC apart.
The NWC are not happy with the campaign council inaugurated by the presidential candidate. They feel threatened that their roles might be usurped, and that's why they are raising their alarm. And then a letter was emanated where they asked that the council be disbanded, but they all of a sudden made a U-turn. Why some persons are saying they don't know anything about that letter. Most members of the National Working Committee are saying they don't know anything about that letter. The letter was even unsigned, but it was unsigned because the letter was leaked. The letter was not made public when it was intended to, so it was leaked. That was why it wasn't signed. But those who came up with the letter are still insisting. It was a draft letter, of course, but they are still insisting on the content of the letter, that they are not happy with the constitution of the campaign council, and that their roles are being taken from them and being handed over to the members of the campaign council. So that is the issue. Let's see how it goes. If and the presidential candidates will heed to their warnings and then maybe reconstitute the campaign, or if he would remain adamant and go ahead.
And do you see him doing that?
I don't think he will. I don't think he's a presidential candidate. He deserves the right to choose whoever will run his campaign for him, provided they are members of his party, even though he brought somebody from the PDP. Okay. But I don't see him changing.
I don't really understand what's going on with the big parties. Oster, 122.4 million naira bribery scandal, Rocks PDP. When you talk now, or when another party members start talking, they say that this is a family issue. You don't intervene, you don't, come in. But then, why wouldn't they handle these family issues within? Why must it make, why must you see it in the pages of newspaper every day? The problems going on in APC and PDP.
Well, it's normal for human beings to usually experience fisticuffs when they interact among themselves. That's just a fact. But the thing is, I feel what's going on right now in these parties is a form of, it's actually natural. It's something nature is bringing about, so that there will be some pruning process and the wheat can be separated from the chaff. Because you find out that a lot of ill have been going on in these parties, and this has been trickling down to how our democracy had been carried out, and we've not been finding it easy. See the amount of money they say they've been sharing amongst themselves.
Where do they get that kind
of money? Obscene amounts of money. And the
hunger that is in the land now.
So, and also is still on strike. all right? And a lot of things are still going wrong. PDP was in charge of affairs of this country for donkey years, over 12 years, and we didn't have any good road, any good federal road in the whole of the Southeast. All right, we kept having epileptic power supply and all whatnot. And look at the amount of money they are sharing amongst themselves. So this is a time for us to really go back to our drawing board and check how or rather the reason we've been allowing these people to remain in power. There's a need for us to really change our style, to really insist on the right kind of leadership come 2023. Not just at the presidential level, but at all tiers of government. Because we keep pointing fingers at the presidency as if the presidency has a magic wand to change everything. Forgetting that we even send our own people to represent us at the state legislative level, at the federal legislative level, and what have you. And all these people are contributory to where we are today. So there's a need for us to be careful, not just as to who governs us at the presidential level, but as who represents us at the federal level and even at the state level. This is the way we can start getting things right. If not, these people keep sharing a lot of money, I will just be seeing them on the news while we stay hungry. Honestly speaking,
very, very important. Igbo presidency, Atiku's boastful promise to Igbo ridiculous. This one is coming from Ohaneze and is on the New National Star. Okay. I think he said something like that way back in the 2015 that Igbo should wait for 2023. Incidentally, he didn't make it to the presidential, he didn't win the presidential race, and now he's recontesting and is asking Igbos to still have to wait for another 8 years. Is it not insulting?
It's ridiculous, the kind of statements people make because they want to, in their quest for power. You don't make certain statements and then I don't, in fact, they don't bite their words, most of them, the politicians. And it is typical of an article. It's not the first time. And this shows how lowly he has placed Ndibo. I always say that every politician who wants to make a name for himself will always talk about Igbo presidency and all whatnot. I think at this level we've gone past Igbo presidency. Nobody is talking about it's the turn of Ndibo. No, it's the turn of Nigerians. It's the turn of the youths. Whoever will bring about the desired change is what we want, not minding where the person comes from. Atiku should know it is game over for him. This is somebody who has been contesting for presidency since 1992. He has been contesting for presidency since 1992. And the only election he won since then was governorship in Adamawa State, before he was made the vice president. So there comes a time when you decide, okay, I'm training the towel and let me give my support to somebody else. But you don't continue to contest for, what guarantees does he have with the problem in the PDP that he's going to win this election? So making such statements, it's insulting. In fact, he should apologize to Ndibo because it's a slap to their face.
I think that's something he's holding on to. Looking at what happened at the onset of the primaries, okay, when most of the northern stakeholders in APC started moving over to PDP, and then the speculation was that they want to support Atiku against Tinubu. Okay, perhaps they must have told him that, don't worry, we're here for you, you're going to win this election. What do you think, Oster?
That's probably what happened. But the truth of the matter is people are becoming more aware of what's going on in the political sphere. We're beginning to appreciate the effect of the political sphere on other spheres of the society, and we're beginning to become more participatory in the activities of politics. So it won't be business as usual anymore. But where I am scared is people still using that same sensationalism, allowing sensationalism or their emotions to influence the choice they make. That's where I feel we might still get it wrong again if care is not taken. But we're becoming more aware, and I don't really think Atiku still stands a chance. Okay. That's my...
All right, thank you very much. We'll move over to the next paper, which is the Tribune newspaper, the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Controversial letter on Settles APC. I think we have seen that story. Let's see if we can get another story out of that place. Okay, Yobe Not Lawan surrender says, I won't appeal judgment. And down here I have another one that says, Supreme Court affirms Adeleke as authentic PDP candidate. I think we're going to look at these two human beings when we'll come back. Okay, Daily Independent, the next paper. Hope rises as fresh broker peace between federal government and ASU. I think this is a fresh breath. Let's look at the rider. Union to meet Accountant General on choice of payment system. And then Bajabia Miller to transmit report of meeting to Buhari in days. It's like they want to use this for campaign, but that's good. It's still good. Let the students get back to school. That's our own. PDP National Working Committee members return. Okay, we have seen that story. We have also seen this one. Let's move to another story, another paper now. The Nation's newspaper is our next paper. Scandal Rocks Pdp Nwc as members return 122.4 million naira. Is it one person returning this or all the members returning this? One person.
Some members.
Some members. And the total sum is 122.
Yes.
Okay, this is scary. I don't know where this money is coming from. Okay, that's all we're taking from the Nation newspaper. The Daily Trust paper down said, don't fight. Okay, let's start it afresh. At peace accord signing, don't fight dirty. Buhari tells Tinubu, Atiku, Obi, others. So is allowed to fight, but don't fight dirty. Okay, and the writers there say, we are at critical stage. Jonathan, fake news, misinformation, threat to poll, Abdul Salami. And then we will monitor candidates, parties, conduct spending, INEC. Okay, then rightly below the name templates, Yobe Not Lawan, who have seen that story. IU bribes us with millions. 6 PDP National Working Committee members alleged. IU bribed us with millions. Okay, I don't know. Okay, Nigerian Air questions doubts as federal government unveils Ethiopian Airlines as core investor. Imagine. Okay, now, gentlemen, Lawan and Adeleke issue. Lawan has surrendered, and Adeleke, his candidacy was upheld by Supreme Court.
Well, that's a big win for Adeleke, or the Adelekes, because they are making it a family issue, presenting themselves as a family unit in the media, which is quite impressive. And it's been a long fight for Adeleke. I know that in the last dispensation, he also came out, but somehow he wasn't able to get to the finals. But this time around, he won, and despite the hiccups he experienced at some point, I'm glad that at this point, the whole issues have been resolved. Let's now see how well he handles this new responsibility that has been given to him. You know, most times I say, let those people who are so eager to gain power, let them give in a chance so that we'll see the magic that they will perform. Because most times when somebody is watching the play of football from the spectators' point, the person will feel he will do wonders. But sometimes when you allow the person go into the field of play, the person might not be so fantastic.
So we keep experimenting.
So let's keep experimenting. That's what I believe. I wish Adeleke well. The state he's going to govern has not been doing badly per se. So I believe that if he is really sincere the way he's making us believe, I believe that he's going to do well.
All right, thank you very much. It is still press review in Good Morning Anambra, so you can still, there's a number on your phone. If you want to join us now to make your contributions, you're free to join us now. Yeah, Ejike, hope rises as fresh broker peace between federal government and ASU. Are we seeing the end of this wahala?
We may not see the end because they are still insisting, there's still a conflict on which payments platform should be used. ASU is insisting on UTAS while federal government is insisting on IPPIS. I think that's where the problem is at the moment. And ASU is not happy that they want to hand over such payments to Accountant General, and I think head of service or the chief of staff who will be in charge of the payment using IPPIS. And they are insisting on using UTAS. In fact, they've even challenged the federal government through the Ministry of Communication and Technology to prove that UTAS is not, did not pass the integrity test. Because, you know, the federal government challenged them to produce a payment platform when they initially rejected IPPIS. That was when, as the research institutions that they came up with UTAS, and they are insisting that UTAS is way better than IPPIS, and they are challenging the federal government to prove that UTAS failed the integrity test. So I think that's where the problem is now. Let's see what will happen after they might have met with the Accountant General of the Federation today and see if which of the payment platform they are settling for. What I see today, we never go with IPPIS. I doubt if they will.
Okay, thank you very much. Osta, let's look at this story. Nigeria Air questions doubts as federal government invests Ethiopian Airlines as core investor in Nigeria. Okay, well, before then, somebody has joined us. Yeah, hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Okay, I am Mr. Frank calling from Mocha.
Mr. who?
Frank calling from Mocha.
Okay, Frank, you're welcome.
Okay, I want to about those shuttle drivers.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I think they welcome the movement, and if you want to work implement very well, have to enforce it by using maybe police or army people to stand in the park. Because that people will still collect the money. Not standing them where with maybe media or whatever. That will not work. If you want it to work very well, then you have to implement it by keeping maybe forces around them. From that time, that's my contribution.
If you want to, excuse me, sir, if you want to make what work, I didn't really get you.
Yes, the part of Keke and whatever. Then you use the police. That's what I mean.
Okay, we didn't ban Keke, we banned the union. That's what the federal government.
The union, I mean, because the union will still collect the money. That's what I mean.
Okay.
That's why they want Keke people to pay the money. That's what I mean.
Okay, sir. Okay, Dalo. Thank you very much.
Yes, you have to support them with something. That's what I mean.
All right. Thank you. I got you now. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about Nigeria Air.
Economy.
Yeah. So the truth is, from the day that that initiative was introduced to us on the media, we've been really of high hopes, believing that it's going to ease air transportation for citizens that use it, and probably help to reduce the cost of air transportation. The delay and the drag, people have been of mixed feelings over it. Some people feel that right now that the federal government are maybe playing politics with it. But I want the federal government, I want this particular administration to work, and I'm looking forward to them achieving this dream before they leave office. So I look forward to Nigeria. And now they've included Ethiopian Airline. We know Ethiopian Airline has been a very successful airline over the years. So I believe with this partnership, there's every tendency that Nigeria Air will see the light of day.
Okay, I was looking at the federal government, AGK, partnering with indigenous airlines like the Peacemas and all the rest of them. Why Ethiopian Airline?
It's also my worry. I may be a child as at then, but I remember Nigeria Airways. I know the fleet of aircraft that we used to have. I know how efficient the Nigeria Airways used to be. And the question now is, what happened? How did we allow that sector to ground? And all the aircraft that we used to have, all of them just got abandoned. And now we are asking a sister African country as Ethiopia to come and manage.
Colonize our airways.
It's something.
Colonize our airways. That's what's giving me concern.
I hope it's temporary, just for the meantime, because these are people who should come and learn from us. But we are now running to them because of mismanagement. Nothing else. Mismanagement. Now we have our own local airlines that are doing well. I don't know what rules they are given or they might be given, but we have them, and this is one way of also supporting them. If we bring them in and partner with them, I know it will reduce costs. And it will be a win-win for the local airline operators and the federal government. But for whatever reasons, they've decided to go and meet Ethiopia. Let's hope at the end of the day, it is something that would be fruitful. Remember that this same administration paid over $6 million for designing of logo. Nigerian Airways, if you remember, designing of logo. We have several graphics, even here in Oka, that can give us something better than what we saw that day, but they spent millions of dollars to design a logo for an aircraft that never came to limelight. I hope this is not another white elephant project, which at the end of the day, they throw in money and nothing to show for it.
They share the money and then shut the doors. Okay, let's get back to the story at the Daily Trust that said, don't fight dirty, Buhari test Tinubu. And I think we're going to look at the riders there, where INEC said we will monitor candidates, parties conduct, and then spending. How are they going to do that? Because I know that these things have been, on during electionary campaigns and all the rest of it. As you see money, why how come they didn't monitor the primaries where the delegates were flooded with dollars, not even nairas? Yeah. How are they going to do this one now?
Well, the thing is, I believe that anybody that has been in position of leadership will understand how difficult it is or how difficult it is to make people do things the right way, especially in these parts. It's very difficult to get people to do the right thing, and I hope that this new electoral bill that has been passed is going to guide our activities this time around, and whoever it is that is found wanting will be called to book, will be brought to book. So I see the new electoral bill coming to the rescue this time around to ensure that people don't abuse the use of or rather the amount of money that they spend during this campaign period.
Does this one that they are returning and then they're sharing,
it's actually a good sign. However way we look at it, it's a good sign that people return this amount of money. Nobody knew these monies were disbursed until they started returning them. The conventional Nigerian politician, from the impression they are giving us over the decades, is that they will have pocketed these monies and allowed whatever was the wish of the person who disbursed the money to come to pass, and the masses will not know about it. So let's really congratulate them for mustering up enough willpower to return this amount of money.
I think they needed to a higher bidder.
No, what
however way it goes, however way it actually went, returning in the first place and making us know about it is a good thing. Let's start encouraging such good gestures from these people, because that's what we expect from them. Okay.
What actually happened is, I think some way, somehow, indirectly, I would say kudos to Wike, because it is a problem Wike is having with IU that brought about this revelation. If you look at that story, these persons who returned the money, Nigerian politicians are clowns, I dare say. They are clowns. If you look at their statements, they said, we saw a report on the media that talked about IU mismanaging 15 billion naira. And I was going through my account statement and I saw that you deposited 20-something million naira into my account. Did you see the statement? I was going through my account. They never knew that IU credited the account. But because they saw a report in the media that IU mismanaged 15 billion naira, they now had to go back to their account. I was now going through my bank statement and I discovered that you credited my account with 22 million naira. So I'm returning the money back to the... Who are they talking to, for God's sake? Who are they talking to, for God's sake? How wouldn't you know that you have such amount of money was credited into your account, for God's sake?
The time it was credited.
The time it was credited. So they should not pull the wool over our eyes. We know these things, for God's sake. If the report did not come out, they probably will pocket the money and that will be it. So there is every need for INEC, whichever way they intend to do it, to monitor spending, even though they've failed already by not monitoring the primaries where dollars were exchanged hands.
Okay. Thank you very much. The last paper this morning is the Guardian newspaper that says, comply with peace accord, Buhari, Abubakar, Jonathan tell candidates. And I think we have seen these stories before. And I'd like to thank the gentleman that has joined me this morning to tackle all these stories from different newspapers. They've really done very well this morning. It's so exciting. Thank you very much, Osta Eze. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me once again. It's a pleasure.
I'm sandwiched between two veterans, I told you. And then AGK Abata, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
It's been a very exciting one this morning. I thank you for coming. And I'll also thank you, those of you that watched from home and participated. Thank you very much. My name is Sijama. Do stand by for other programs we'll have programmed for you today.